guy, Chewy?
He hates to meet. I think he's famous for creating the phrase meet to meet.
Yeah, one of his favorite things. Well, he's filling up his calendar with a bunch of meetings that just could be emails.
Wow, you guys don't like meet to meet, do you?
I don't think anybody does.
Hey, let's have a meeting to set up the next meeting.
Yeah, those are meetings that can just be emails.
Yeah.
Although people probably have to meet with you because you and your email are,
No, don't even get me started with emails. Don't even go there. Useless. I don't care if you're out tomorrow, okay, and you work somewhere in the company. I really don't care. So save the ink or whatever the email's made of and just take me off the list.
For the rest of us that work 8-hour days, that information is often pertinent.
I work 8-hour days. Actually, I work more than 8-hour days because if I get a text from one of you guys at 8 o'clock, technically I'm on the clock.
So then I work 18-hour days.
Yeah. You're a grinder.
How do you feel about the NFL league meetings, Chew? You feel like those have value?
There's a lot of things they're going to pick apart.
Yeah.
Do I?
I would say a lot of things get done. They talk about the rules. The coaches and GMs get their picture taken, and then everybody gets to talk about it afterwards too.
Well, specifically for the Green Bay Packers, because Jason Wilde, who is going to join our show very shortly, has been talking about, we want to talk to you, Matt LaFleur. We want to talk to you and your coaches. You guys haven't talked since you made a lot of these off-season moves. It'd be nice to get a little info, a little information from you guys. So yesterday, Matt LaFleur did, in fact, sit at the tables. You've seen the way that they lay this out, right? They all got a round table. They got their name, they got the mic, and everybody sort of gathers around very informally. Matt LaFleur yesterday was asked a number of things about the Green Bay Packers. And while you can sit here and talk about Rich Bisaccia, or you can talk about the report cards, all things that were addressed at one point or another yesterday, I think the most interesting thing, and I think the thing that a lot of fans were wondering about was, why'd you keep all the guys? If your units underperformed, why did you bring back all of the coaches to oversee the units that you believe underperformed? So Matt LaFleur was asked why he kept his offensive staff largely the same. And here was his answer.
I think you're always evaluating and trying to make the decisions that are best for your football team, at least what you believe are going to be best for your football team. That's you always look at ways that you can improve, and I thought the best way for us to move forward is we gotta strip everything down, start like it's year one all over again, and really get to the detail of what we're doing.
Is that just coach speak, though? Is he just talking to talk?
So Chewy made the sound, whereas I wanted to make the sound, huh?
When I hear that, I hear a coach saying, to me, not everybody that was on the field at times last year knew exactly what they needed to do. So they got to strip things down. They got to simplify things, start over from square one, make sure everybody's on the same page, and slowly build up from there. That maybe they were throwing too many things at a continuously young team, thinking that they were, okay, this is year 2 for this guy or whatever, thinking, okay, they're going to be able to pick this up, and maybe they were not able to pick it up, which is why I think he's saying that's not necessarily on the coaches. We were just coaching the wrong things. We got to strip this thing down and bring these guys along slower than we thought. That's what I hear.
Okay, so
when I hear that.
Chew, Gabe's getting a little bit ahead because that is some other sound that Matt LaFleur had yesterday. So since we're here, Josh, why don't you play the sound that Gabe is referring to about guys and their roles?
I think, if I'm being honest about it, I think there were some guys that were upset about roles last year, and I think that took a toll on our football team. So you need guys that bring great energy every day. I think from a coaching standpoint, role clarity is key. So we got to obviously do a better job communicating with our players. Hey, here's your role, and if you're unhappy about your role, it's on you to do something about that, to carve out a bigger role on this football team.
Okay, and I don't want to dive specifically into that, but you're saying, Gabe, that is what is informing this other idea about stripping everything down and starting like it's year one? Because I got to be honest with you, my interpretation of strip everything down is, yes, get rid of people who might not be getting you to where you want to go.
Yeah, I thought stripped everything down. That's something different than what I'm even thinking outside of this. I think this is guys not on the field not knowing what they're doing, so you've got to strip down your offense from some of the more complicated things maybe that he wants to do. Start over from, okay, it's like day one we're installing this offense, and we have to slowly bring everybody along to make sure everybody's on the same page so we can – because how many times do we hear it? And Chu, you obviously know it as well. One guy does his play wrong out of 11, and the whole thing blows up. So you got to make sure all 11 are on the same page and know what they're doing. And if you're stripping down your offense, that means you're trying to simplify it back to day one concepts and then trying to build off of that. Which, again, for a young team, not shocking to hear. And they're not going to be as young this year, obviously, with some of the veterans they added, mostly on the defensive side. But that's what I hear when I think that, especially when you think about the offensive line and how many moving parts there were on the offensive line. Maybe not everybody knew what their assignments were at all times.
I see that. If you have to strip it down after 8 years, that's a failure of coaches. It's a failure of coaches, okay? And I was talking with Gabe yesterday. Andy knew when he coached me there were certain things I couldn't do. And you know what we did, Jen? We didn't do it. You know, I see this as stripping it down after a week. I mean, what are we doing? And there's questions about Butkus. There's questions about Stinovich. I know they brought a new receivers coach in. But I look at that as a failure. You know, and been around the game a long time. And I know a handful of coaches that would refuse to move on from certain assistants on their team. And I know one instance, they fired them. They said, you either move on from A, B, and C, or you're gone. No, I'm not going to do it. Well, you're gone. You know? It's a tough job. It's a tough job. You know, and I get it. You know, no one wants to see anyone else fired, but if you're getting paid these coaches get paid a lot of money. And if you don't perform, you should be out. You should be gone. So my guess, but my take on it, guys, is policy gave him a vote of confidence, and he said, don't worry, you're not on the hot seat at all. Because if you're willing to strip it down and you're on the hot seat, you don't strip it down. You know? Or I wouldn't say I'm stripping it down. But that's how I read it. But I see it as a failure of coaches. You know, coaches aren't going to bat 100 or 1,000% every time. But, man, you got to be 3 for 4 every single game, or you're going to be replaced.
The issue that I have with the concept of stripping it down is this should be the year that they're taking the reins off of Jordan Love. This should be the year that you are seeing this offense in all its glory, whatever it looks like. It has to run through Jordan Love. And I guess my question is, if you're stripping it down, what does that version of the offense look like? Like the whole idea, Chu, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, is we are building year by year, week by week, right? Every year you're trying to add a little bit more, make it a little more complicated, a little more tricky for the opponents to decipher, especially since everything is out there on film. How are we stripping down and then expecting to get back to a level that is an elite football program? That's, I guess, what I'm struggling with, Gabe, is that I thought that this was a build sort of thing and that this year we could expect that Jordan Love would be sort of untethered. And I don't know how you strip down and also untether Jordan Love to maximize this offense's effectiveness.
Yeah, but if Jordan is, and I believe, and I know Matt had talked about, he thinks that Jordan is at that level. If nobody else around him's at that level, it doesn't matter. We saw that with Aaron. The last year Aaron was here, they had kind of gotten rid of some pieces, like Devontae Adams. They were getting younger, and that wide receiver core went super young, and they weren't on the same page as Aaron. And it doesn't matter that Aaron's got this galaxy football brain. If nobody else is on the same page as him, the offense can't run smoothly. So if Jordan's on that one level, if the receivers are lost, doesn't matter what Jordan's seeing unless those guys can get on the same page as him.
Well, then
so you got to simplify it down.
That goes to coaches and or players, because either players aren't putting in the work. Because I can tell you, this year 3, Gabe, I knew this playbook inside and out. And what year is Jordan on?
Well,
7?
I think Jordan does know the playbook inside and out, Chew.
I mean,
I think it's guys around him. Again, I think it's partially you had two different guys who had never played center really ever before as your centers last year. And Elton Jenkins didn't really do it at all during offseason stuff because he was trying to figure out a contract thing. Then you have to shift over Sean Ryan into there. You've got Anthony Belton trying to figure out how to play guard for the first time. You've got Jordan Morgan, who's not a guard, trying to play guard, was a little bit better when he finally played tackle. And then you've got a bunch of wide receivers that you're shuffling in and out that, again, maybe that goes to roles as well, don't know roles. And it's hard to get everybody on the same page. Somebody decides to do something that they're not, trying to be a hero, so they get more snaps.
But the offensive line's a little different because that evolves every year because they don't run black. Like next year, there'll be a whole new set of blitzes. Right? Mm-hmm. There'll be a whole new set, whole new stuff they have to, because they're not, the defense is trying to evolve and force the offense what to do. So week to week, they have to be able to adjust and be used to something different. 72 X shallow cross, okay? You got a post on the inside. You got the X on a crossing route. There's no different way to run it. You know? The Z doesn't all of a sudden say, you know what, I'm going to run a comeback just to change things up, you know? So my guess is the coaches aren't doing their job and the players aren't putting in the time to study because what's Reed going into year 4, Watson going into year 4, Kraft going into year 4, well, these guys should all know, and I don't know if this is the problem.
Yeah.
But they should know the playbook like the back of their hand.
Yeah, Watson year 5. And I guess, too, because one of the other complaints you had, especially when we were doing all 22 last year, was, okay, where's the bread and butter? And maybe that's what this is. Like, okay, we got to strip it down. We got to find those bread and butter plays. We got to figure out what we're really good at and then build off of those.
You should be able to go Tucker Kraft. Okay, hey, I'm going to run an out route right here. And Tucker Kraft should be so much better than that linebacker. Mm-hmm. You still should be able to do it all day long. They could not. When we ran Fox 2XY hook, which was my bread and butter play, you can't stop it. If you know what you're doing, you cannot stop it. And the hit rate on that was probably about 80%.
Well, if we're looking for things that breed optimism, they did speak glowingly about Tucker Kraft and his recovery timeline, so that is a good thing. And to be honest with you guys, it might be the only thing that bred any confidence in me when I was listening to Matt LaFleur yesterday. These things that he's addressing, I know it sounds like it's the offseason. We are reevaluating. We're trying to figure out why we've underperformed, why we've been the 7th seed. But none of the answers that were given made me feel confident about the direction they are going in. And I think that's why fans were like, okay, so a couple of things. Players didn't like their roles, check. You kept around all of the offensive staff, even though that unit underperformed. But when we ask you why you kept them around, you divert attention away from answering the questions, talk about stripping down, again, left open to interpretation. I feel like Matt LaFleur created more questions about the direction of this organization, direction of his team and franchise than he answered yesterday.
What would have given you confidence in terms of an answer yesterday? Because I think there is a portion of the fan base, Jen, that certainly wanted a lot of the offensive staff to go. That ship has sailed. That ain't happening anymore. You know, Steno's back, Butkus is back. Like, these guys are sticking around. They ain't going anywhere. They had done that a couple of months ago. So is there something that you were hoping to hear yesterday?
I think if he says, we evaluated those coaches very closely in the offseason, and that what we came away with was the issues we had offensively weren't on them. It was guys not executing, or whatever the explanation is. Again, I'm not in those meetings. I'm not there. But this sort of like red herring answer of we got to strip everything down. Yeah, that's what people wanted you to do. They wanted you to just strip it down, get rid of these coaches that they thought were responsible for the underperformance, the not reaching the level that they believe the Packers should be at, and get new blood in there. That's what that fan base, that portion of the fan base wanted. And when he answered that question yesterday, Chew, he didn't answer, why did you keep him?
And my whole thing with roles, you're the head coach, okay? Who gives a crap if these players, that is your role, okay? That goes to the selfishness of these players, and that might affect, because I remember Tucker Kraft saying something 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. What did he say, Gabe? That, like, everyone's not on the same page here. Take it from a guy who got screwed the biggest on roles. Okay, my 4th year, I had 7 touchdowns. I forget how many catches in the 50s. My next year,
You were a Pro
because
Bowl
they
player.
bring Keith Jackson in and I had to block all the time. Keith had 11 touchdowns. You know how many I had?
I know exactly how many you had. You had none.
You don't need hands to count. I had none. So if someone had a right to bitch about their role,
Hey.
that's
You got a 2-point conversion in the Super Bowl.
I
How many,
did.
how
That
many
was-
people have done that?
that was the payoff.
It's an exclusive
that
list,
was the
pal.
Okay,
payoff.
so I think this is really good, Chewy, because you're basically saying that you didn't love your role, but you did what
No.
you had to do to help the team that year, right?
It's all about
why is it
jewelry,
Matt
Jen.
LaFleur saying
Yeah.
that? Like, has the
don't know.
league changed that much where coaches now have to defer to, well, I'm sorry, I didn't ask you. What role would you like to have
Yeah.
on this squad? And how can we make that happen for you? Again, and I'm not trying to sit here and put all the blame on the players. But what I'm trying to say is a lot of the stuff that came out of yesterday's NFL meetings regarding the Packers made me scratch my head even more. As opposed to answers, I have more questions.
When I hear the rule thing, I guess the first thing I think of is the wide receivers. And I think LaFleur kind of owned a little bit. Like, they probably didn't define the roles in that wide receiver room. Oh, we've got so many guys. You got to define those roles. And I know, Chew, like you said, I mean, yeah, your role diminished, and you were playing, what was it, 2 out of every 3?
3
Or was
to
it
1.
3 out of 4?
It was 3 to 1.
3 to
Yeah.
1 for you and Keith. So Keith was playing
Yeah.
1, you were playing 3, so you still got playing time, but he still got all those big plays when he was certainly in those series. I think they just need to define. They still probably, Chew, like you knew what that role was. Okay, here's what my
Yeah.
role is. That was defined for you. When you guys were healthy, and obviously it changed because you guys got beat up at wide receiver in 96, Robert was the 1, Free was the 2, Beebs was the 3. Like everything was defined. I don't think they defined that in the wide receiver room last year, and I think that can lead to some confusion and some malcontents.
But it should be all about getting a ring. These guys are my role. It's going to affect my Twitter account. If my role doesn't change, I am not going to get as many clicks. So you need to change my role. It's not how you win a Super Bowl, you knuckleheads.
Reaction rolling in on the Carbless Talk and text line. Ryan from Aguanago says they are not a Super Bowl team. This year, they should be putting the cherry on top, not changing the flavor of ice cream. 800-990-3776. We got to get to Jason Wilde. We'll ask Jason his reaction to some of the comments made by Matt LaFleur and company yesterday at the NFL meetings in Arizona. Jen, Gabe, and Chewy rolls on after this.
Hey guys, remember the way you felt when you were 25? Your early morning workouts, they were a breeze. You had that drive that kicked in way before that first cup of coffee. Now fast forward to today. Do you feel like you've lost the edge? It might not just be your age. You could be dealing with some low testosterone, and that's where my friends at Mentality come in. They start with a comprehensive 100-point blood panel to help get to the bottom of what's really going on. Then they build a personalized treatment plan using testosterone replacement therapy and targeted peptide therapy to help restore your energy, focus, and drive. In fact, 94% of men report renewed energy and focus within 60 days. And I'm among those 94%. It's been fantastic for me getting that energy back to not just get through the day, but to attack the day. And just so you know, this isn't some new, trendy, off-the-shelf solution of the month. Mentality, it's all about real medicine. While they can't actually make you 25 again, Mentality can get you back to the way you were feeling and be that guy you used to be. Schedule your appointment with Mentality today. It's an easy website, lowtusa.com. That's lowtusa.com.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today. More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Things are pretty quiet out there. Eastbound 94, just a little bit heavy right through the stadium interchange to 35th Street. Northbound 41 slows down just past Mayfair Road up to Burleigh, and that's pretty much it. A few broken down vehicles here and there. Nothing in traffic, though, so we are actually looking pretty good. Traffic is brought to you by Glenroy, now hiring. As the packaging industry rapidly grows, so does Glenroy. Apply today at glenroy.com/careers. That's GLENROY.com/careers. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, a chance of storms, falling temperatures throughout the afternoon, a high of 65 tonight, mostly cloudy, a low of 33. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
On this show, it's always football season.
I'm not overly concerned because it seems as if Green Bay's not overly concerned.
Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Everybody over there feels like this team was there. We got short-circuited with injuries. We have the right staff, we have the right people, and we have the right players. We just need to stay healthy, and we'll be champions.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN, ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube channel, and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
How are things at Kessler's Greenfield, Kelly?
Fantastic. I heard you have an idea for springtime.
I love spring.
I have a big collection of new life to show you.
New life is a spring thing.
Show us. I call it crosses and clovers.
These are amazing.
Well done, Kelly.
These are stunningly unique.
Kelly, the surface of this 4-leaf clover is fantastic. What's it made of?
Sarah, the surface of that lucky 4-leaf clover is made of crushed black diamonds.
Wow. I'm buying this one. How much?
$185. In yellow gold vermeil, it's just $270. This cross, $90.
And these initials pendants?
These are $60.
Clovers, crosses, and personalized pendants.
And a leprechaun that says they're magically delicious.
Sarah, that's a breakfast cereal.
Kelly, you've done well.
Extremely well.
Extremely very well. Happy springtime, everyone.
To find the Kesslers nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
She walked miles with her granddaughters every day at Disney with zero knee pain, but she couldn't have done that months ago. This all started with a visit to QC Kinetics.
We have spent the last 4 days going from park to park, walking all day long, no pain. I feel fantastic.
Here's what baffles people when they hear Kathy's story.
The doctor said, you need 2 full knee replacements. And I said, that's not going to happen. I went to QC Kinetics, started treatment that day. Within a couple of weeks, I was absolutely pain-free.
It's the kind of story that QC Kinetics hears from patients all the time.
I cannot thank QC Kinetics enough for giving me my life back. I'm active again and loving it. I'm well over a year out. I've had absolutely no pain in either knee.
Before you agree to surgery, listen to this. Think about it.
Tomorrow is Animal Kingdom, so yeah, gotta go.
Kathy's glad she took them up on the free consultation. We have one set aside for you.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-240-2298. That's 414-240-2298. 414-240-2298.
Look around your office. Does it look like 1994 called and wants its lobby back?
Most brands just show up, often amongst outdated decor.
At Captivate Exhibits, ordinary space is the enemy. Beige walls, faded graphics, that motivational poster no one reads.
That's not culture, that's camouflage.
Captivate designs and build spaces that don't whisper, they speak. They spark conversations. People lean in.
Stop blending in and start captivating today at CaptivateExhibits.com.
Ready? Down! Put! All Packers, all the time.
He was a field-tilting player, and the reason why Gabe and many others are so concerned is that this guy's on the field, he changes the offensive dynamic. They are a different offense when he is there.
Okay, most of the time.
You know, Homer calls Matt LaFleur soft all the time. Matt LaFleur is like Vince Lombardi compared to me.
It's Jason Wilde on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Jason Wilde on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy is brought to you by Exterior Pros. Ready to tackle your home improvement project? Exterior Pros and Baths is giving $3,000 off roofing, siding, windows, or bath remodels this month. Visit extpros.com.
Always a treat to get Jason Wilde's reaction to something like the NFL meetings and Matt LaFleur et al.'s comments. Good morning, Jason. How are you today?
I'm good, everybody. How are you?
We're good. So, biggest takeaway from the comments made really by anyone. You could go Goody, you could go Policy, you could go LaFleur. What's the one that really stood out to you that was mentioned yesterday by a Green Bay Packers representative?
Yeah, I don't think it's even close. It's LaFleur offering up without being really prompted. I mean, the question that was posed to him was, how do you make sure that you're, putting yourself in a better position than being the 7th seed every year? And him offering up that there were guys that were unhappy with their roles and that took a toll on their football team. I mean, it obviously was something that not only does he think was a major problem, but something that he's not afraid of acknowledging publicly, because no one said, hey, I've been hearing that there were some guys that weren't really happy last year in their roles. What do you have to do differently about that? Like, he volunteered that information, which then leads me to wonder, all right, so why is he thinking that that's a worthwhile thing to, because, he doesn't, a lot of times he won't tell you that it's raining when all you have to do is look outside and look out the window. So to me, that was enormous. He obviously was not going to get into which players specifically fit that profile. And that, of course, led to us playing the game of who might it be. And we ended up with a 12-player potential list. So
that's problematic.
Right, exactly. And so, I'll be very curious to see what they do differently as they move forward to kind of, to figure out exactly how this is going to go in terms of what they do differently to be more effective in guys understanding their roles and doing what they need to do.
Would you consider this a selfish team, Jason? I mean, it's supposed to be God, unit, core, country. Doesn't sound like that's it.
You can't handle the truth.
Yes.
I would say that. I would say this, and again, you and I are going to come off as the get off my lawn crowd,
Mm-hmm.
but and I don't know what the solution is here because look, first of all, I'm way more sensitive than you, and so if I had to be coached by an NFL coach, I would have to figure out how to handle some of the tougher coaching without going into a shell. But as I've always said, if you tell me that you're disappointed in me and you need more from me, that's the most effective way to get more from me if you're unhappy with my performance. Whereas screaming and yelling, or the Rodgers technique of throwing your arms up in the air and embarrassing me publicly on the field, not what I'm looking for, right? Mm-hmm. But I still think that you have to be able to take constructive criticism and you have to be able to be challenged that if you don't like, and this, I talk about this with the girls all the time, if you don't like your role on the team, what are you prepared to do? What are you doing to change it? Now, there's only so much you can do, and if a coach has a misevaluation of a player and thinks they're better than you and you disagree, you have to be motivated and you have to say, I'm going to prove to you that you're an idiot. But there are limitations to what you can do. But the one thing you're not going to help yourself by doing is sulking and complaining and just having a crappy attitude. Like, it's not going to get any better if you do that. And I do think that, quote unquote, young people, get off my lawn, are bad at that today. And I do think it's a product of, hey, I'm in college and things aren't going the way I want them to, or I'm not getting enough money in NIL money from this school, so I'm going to go somewhere else. And I'm facing adversity, and I'm not a starter, so I'm going to go somewhere else where I'm going to be a starter. And I do think that there are some players that were probably from that era on this team that sulked and didn't like it, and they don't have an option of transferring anymore. And so I thought it was really interesting, and I know there are people that are killing LaFleur today for allowing guys to be that way. I look at it from the other flip side of that, which is, hey, he recognizes there's a problem, and he's already starting the messaging that, hey, that crap ain't going to work this year, and we're gonna buckle down because we're going to do a better job of communicating your role. But I think the important thing he says at the end of that clip is it's up to you to do something about it if you don't like your role.
Jason, can you tell us, I don't know if you want to tell us, but on the 12 names on that list,
yes,
are any of those guys no longer with the team?
I think some of them are. I mean, look, the first name, we did a draft, and my first pick was Quay Walker. I mean, now I did end up picking all people that are no longer on the team. That was just by happenstance because of the way the draft went. But Quay Walker arrived in Vegas and basically said, look, Rob Leonard, their defensive coordinator, is going to use me the right way, and basically flat out said, Yeah, I didn't like the way the Packers used me. Well, that sounds like to me like somebody saying he didn't like his role.
Mm-hmm.
And that tracks because, as I've said many times, he said in like early October that there was a contract offer from the Packers on the table, and he hadn't signed it. Well, apparently he didn't sign it because, A, he thought he could get a better deal elsewhere, and B, he didn't want to be there. So, the guys that I would say fit into that first category, and again, let me be very clear, I don't know this for a fact, and it's unfair to these players for us to be conjecturing, but Matt LaFleur also knew when he wouldn't say who he was talking about that people were going to do this. But I got to think Jordan Morgan and Matthew Golden, their last 2 first-round picks, kind of feel that way, right? And Goody, at some point yesterday, acknowledged that, they jerked Jordan Morgan around for the last 2 years. Dude wanted to play left tackle all along, never did. So, except in that JV game where they got their lunch eaten by the Vikings. So I think he has a legitimate feeling of, I don't like my role. Matthew Golden played a ton of snaps. I always go back to, you guys have heard me say this a bunch of times, love saying, well, his route running has really improved, which is a compliment on the surface, but would indicate that at one point last year, his route running was not good enough, right? Mm-hmm. So if those two guys were, and again, hypothetically, if those guys were unhappy with their roles, guess what? In 2026, both of them, with Jordan Morgan taking over at left tackle for Rasheed Walker and Matthew Golden having far more opportunity with Romeo Doubs no longer on the roster, both of those dudes are going to have opportunities to have bigger roles, and now it's up to them to make the most of it.
Gabe, well, give me 1 second here, because, Jason, as you guys put your list together, what was the breakdown defense versus offense when we were speculating who some of the players who might not have been happy with their roles were?
I don't remember all the picks. I think we also had 2. So we each picked 3 players, so that's 9, and then we had 2 honorable mentions, and then we started talking about other guys that might have been on the list. But like Elton Jenkins was one of them, right? As it turned out, he wasn't really cut out for playing center, and I don't know if all of them were unhappy. That is us guessing.
Yeah.
But I think it was pretty close down the middle. Like Dontavion Wicks. Dontavion Wicks had career lows in snaps, receptions, yards, and touchdowns. Now, he missed time with some injuries, right? But I still think he played in 14 games out of the 17. I think he probably feels like he could have done more. I said Emmanuel Wilson, right? I mean, Emmanuel Wilson took a bargain basement deal after the Packers didn't tender him as a restricted free agent and joined like a clown car of candidates to replace Kenneth Walker in Seattle. Like, they got like 8 running backs vying for that opportunity. So he chose to go there, or the Packers didn't even bother to offer. Maybe he felt like, look, instead of playing Josh Jacobs on one leg, I can do more. And remember, this is a guy who did make his 1 NFL start, and what did he do? He ran for 107 yards and 2 touchdowns. So, again, I don't know the truth about who was or wasn't, but the fact that Matt LaFleur acknowledges this says that they have to be better at communicating. I mean, he clearly, to some degree, took the grade that he got on that NFLPA report card to heart. So for the
and Jason, actually, that's why I brought it up, because it seemed as though they were using the grade to sort of indicate that, like, and maybe they reflected it when they gave me a B- when I had an A before. But Jeff Hafley would be the guy who was deciding what the defensive players' roles were in his defense, and he got an A-. So that's where I'm having the disconnect between, like, the players who might have used the grade to indicate their frustrations, and that's why my brain sort of leans more offensive, if that makes any sense.
It does. I don't know. I don't know. The problem is, our list is not official, right? And so I think Tausch or Jesse picked Rashawn Gary, who is also gone, right? And my thought was,
because he was playing too many snaps?
Right. If Rashawn Gary is unhappy, then there is nothing you can do to please him, right? Because he Goody was doing it again yesterday. Ryan Wood from the Green Bay Press Gazette. I mean,
well, Jason, that's because, Jerry's given us quite a bit over the last 12 months. And you got to make sure that bank remains open. You can't go, hey, I fleeced Jerry Jones, because you might have to fleece him again.
Right, but a great point, because, yes, he's like being extorted without holding anything over him, from what I can tell. But again, and I'm appreciative to Ryan for posting these videos, so I'm able to, because I didn't go, I'm able to post some stories and know what was said yesterday. But he asked him, were you surprised that you got a 4th-round pick for Rashawn Gary? And, again, that's one of those questions that Goody's not going to say, yeah, can you believe how stupid they are? Like, first, I love Kenny Clark as a guy, but I hated his contract. I had to get that contract off our books. And he demanded Kenny Clark in that trade for Micah Parsons, and I had to pretend, no, I don't know, Jerry. I don't know if I want to part with him. And now he takes Rashawn Gary off my hands. Are you kidding me? So he's not going to say that, right? But my point was going to be, he keeps bringing up the 60 pressures, which under no metric that the Packers use in their own statistics he had, and the 7.5 sacks, which none of them came in the last 10 games of the season. Like, he keeps saying that as if he still wants to make Rashawn Gary feel like he was productive for this team last year. And if Rashawn Gary is among the people who didn't like his role, my question to you is, I would say this, and this was the theory we had. It wasn't so much his role. He was just pissed that they went out and got Micah Parsons. He's supposed to be the star edge rusher. Well, you got to play like one, and you got to produce like one to be viewed that way. And I will say this, and I saw a week ago maybe, I think Gary posted a workout video after the trade, and then
Micah
just
had
by happenstance, Micah Parsons posts something about the nonsense of posting your workouts and this and that, and I was just like, God, he really did not like Rashawn Gary.
I'm sure that was coincidental, Jason. Come on. Why are we connecting those? It's completely coincidental. Jason Wilde does join us on the Yuengling guest hotline. Yuengling, the oldest brewery in America, and now officially in Wisconsin. DG Yuengling & Son, Pottsville, PA. Enjoy responsibly. Jason, how possible is it that the coaches weren't clear enough with the players about what their roles were that also led to then some frustration?
Certainly, right? I mean, I think that, and I think you heard Matt LaFleur acknowledge that. I thought that was, I think, again, I know that there are going to be people, and there's that kind of, I think we've estimated it as about 1/3 of the fan base, led by Josh, like he's like their king, that just don't think LaFleur is the right guy for the job. King Joshy. Josh, tell me if I'm wrong. But you're in that crowd, right? John Anderson is in that crowd.
Mm-hmm. I consider myself a leader.
Last week.
Yeah, John Anderson's following you?
Well, I like to pretend that's the case.
No, I think they. I'm just going to say I think they share the same opinion and leave it at that. But they're not. They're not. What's the old line in Greece? If you can't be an athlete, be an athletic supporter. Those guys are not Matt LaFleur supporters, okay? And so I think that crowd is going to look at this as, God, look at this guy. This guy's letting, these players be disgruntled, and it brought the team down. I would say on the flip side that he acknowledged that this is an issue, says that they have to be clearer in their communication, so that's going to be a priority. The part that I don't believe is, first of all, you're going to tear your offense down to the studs, and it'll be like year one. Well, that seems like a waste considering you're in year 8. And then the other part is this nonsense about how, and again, I know you get what you emphasize, but this idea that, well, we didn't finish games, so every drill is going to have a start and every drill is going to have a finish. Do they just sort of randomly end the drills now, like guys start to walk off even before the drill's over?
They kind of wander in, Jason. They don't really have a start either. They just kind of a middle.
Oh. Practice starts at 9:15, and then here comes Aaron Banks at 9:45. Well, we don't start fast. I'm going to stay a little longer because I'm just going to stay here out on the field and lay down at the 50-yard line and get some sun.
Jason, really good stuff. Always good to break down some of the reaction and some of the comments from Matt LaFleur and company at the NFL meetings. We appreciate you.
All right, everybody, take care. Be good.
Is this the end of the segment?
Why, do you want to stick around a little longer?
I didn't know. I don't know when to start or end. I just
kind
go.
of in the middle. It just exists.
We'll take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. There you go. That's your cue.
Go to the
Chew.
bathroom, pal.
Lots more to get to. We'll continue breaking down the Packers, and we have Jeff Levering coming up in the second hour of the show. So a very busy Tuesday here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Stick around.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Okay, well, we got a pretty good ride shaping up. Northbound on 41, we've got backups from Mayfair Road up to Burleigh. And then eastbound 94 is backing up from Hawley Road all the way through to about 35th. Westbound just tight right through the stadium interchange. Broken down vehicle on the ramp from 894 eastbound to southbound 94. Just be careful around that area. Otherwise, everything's looking good. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today. A chance of storms, falling temperatures throughout the afternoon. A high of 65 tonight. Mostly cloudy, a low of 33. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
March into big savings at Exterior Pros and Baths. Refresh your home this season with energy-efficient windows, durable roofing, beautiful new siding, or a stunning bath remodel and get $3,000 off your project. That's $3,000 in instant savings during their March savings event. But this offer won't last long. Call 262-800-4274 or visit extpros.com today. Exterior Pros and Baths. Big savings done right.
All right, Wisconsin, Josh DiMaggio here, and you know it's tournament time, and Wanna Parlay is where players go to win. If you're building brackets and backing your picks, now you've got even more ways to cash in, and with brand new alternative lines on Wanna Parlay. More control, more strategy, bigger upside. And don't forget, the world's richest parlay is waiting. Download Wanna Parlay in the App Store today and use code JGC for a 100% deposit match for up to $250. Don't just watch it, play it with the world's richest parlay, Wanna Parlay.
Make your next meal Quick Trip's No Ordinary Chicken. Right now, get a crispy chicken sandwich, regular or pepper jacked, for just $3.99. Feeding the crew? Grab an 8-piece bone-in fried chicken for only $9.99. And don't forget to dip it in Quick Trip's No Ordinary Chicken sauce. Short on time? Order ahead with the Quick Rewards app and make it fast. Stop in today for your No Ordinary Chicken. Crunch outside, tender inside. Only at Quick Trip.
You asked and carbless delivered. The fan favorite grapefruit flavor now has its own 4-pack all to itself. That bold, bright, perfectly balanced citrus taste that you've been pulling from the variety pack, it's now front and center in 4 cans, 1 box. Crisp, refreshing, not too sweet, and nothing else has changed. 0 sugar, 0 carbs, just 100 calories and gluten-free. Clean ingredients and big flavor. Always no compromises. Grab the new carbless grapefruit 4-pack wherever you get your carbless and find a location near you at drinkcarbless.com. Carbless, bold flavor in every sip.
In sports, the tape never tells the whole story. Hiring is no different. AI can make candidates look like an MVP on paper, so knowing the person and the skills behind the resume matters. That's where Robert Half changes the game. Our recruiters combine their expertise with award-winning AI to evaluate skills and fit quickly. Learn how we can find you specialized talent in finance, accounting, technology, and more. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today.
Less than 4 in 10 kids aged 6 through 12 are playing sports regularly. 4 in 10 kids? Let it sink in. Just 4 in 10 kids. ESPN is building a nationwide coalition powered by Disney called Take Back Sports, with the purpose of training more coaches, expanding access, and creating community-driven sports programming that puts kids and fun first. We're working on that story. We hope you'll join us.
Visit takebacksports.org to learn more.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
I just figured if I got the yellow ones from Mexico, I could slip those in without her. Did you know the Viagra in Mexico is yellow?
Had no idea.
Yeah.
Wait, can you just paint it? You just drop it in a little food coloring?
You probably could, like an egg.
I'm going to try that. Easter has a new meaning in the Chimera household.
On 94.5 ESPN.
looking for a dinner that actually impresses and cocktails that keep the conversation going, head to the second floor of St. Kate the Arts Hotel and discover the Studio Kitchen and Cocktails. They've got bold, elevated dinners, thoughtfully crafted cocktails. It's the kind of place where every plate and every pour is made with intention. Come for dinner, stay for another round. The Studio Kitchen and Cocktails is on the second floor at St. Kate the Arts Hotel. Matt LaFleur not the only one speaking at the NFL meetings in Phoenix, Arizona. Ed Policy did an interview as well. And this is something that, I guess, shocked me, guys. Ed Policy was shocked that people thought that Matt LaFleur should be fired. And again, this to me feels like a disconnect from the fan base. Ed Policy, in your new position, should know what the expectations are for the Green Bay Packers, should understand why being a perennial 7 seed in the NFC is unacceptable to a proud fan base, to a fan base that expects championships. Why in the world, Gabe, would Ed Policy say, I'm shocked that people thought that Matt LaFleur should be fired?
Again, I think he's aware of that. He just wants to publicly make sure he still continues to have their backs, right? LaFleur and Gutekunst. Because he also had mentioned, he's weighing their entire tenures, not the emotional decision of the 5 games that concluded the Packers season last year, including the collapse in the second half. Even though, again, as we've seen, like having losses like that, that's what can cost people jobs. That's blowing leads like that is what cost people jobs. You look in college basketball, it's what cost Hubert Davis's job last week for UNC because they had a 19-point lead that they blew in the second half of the NCAA tournament game. And having that 21-3 lead disappear on them, yeah, those are typically the types of things that lead to the dismissal of coaches.
My guess is he gave him a vote of confidence while negotiating this deal. He's not on the hot seat. Probably gave him a couple of years because LaFleur doesn't say, hey, look, we're going to tear everything down if you're on the hot seat. So I think he probably didn't give him a number, but my guess is whatever happens, unless it's something catastrophic and they're terrible.
Yeah, they would have to miss
back next year.
Yeah, they would have to miss the playoffs, Jim.
Yeah.
And
maybe even more than that, Gabe.
Be like healthy. And missed the playoffs and not even close.
Yeah.
Is this what Policy does instead of like offering a defense? Because that would sort of point to there being issues. Because he's used this line now multiple times. And I don't, what do you mean you were shocked? You lost to the rival in embarrassing fashion twice in 3 weeks. Of course people are going to call for the head of a guy who the past 3 seasons has underperformed, been a 7 seed, not won the division, and then let the Bears win the division. Of course that's the case. Even I, as somebody who wished they would have moved on from Matt LaFleur, can point to very obvious reasons why a team would decide to keep him. He's been very successful. He's done great things. He reinvented the offense, Aaron Rodgers' career. He brought Jordan Love along. All those things are reasons to defend him, but he just says we're being emotional. And it's couldn't there be some correct points made amongst those emotions you're accusing people of having?
Well, I guess I would also argue that he indicated prior to signing these guys to the extension that he was evaluating everything. Right. It wasn't a snap decision. It wasn't a done deal. It wasn't of course we're going to bring them back. They've been extraordinary. So you were saying, well, we'll see if we can do better. We'll see if these are our guys. You knew that it required evaluation. Therefore, how in the world could you be shocked when the season ended the way that it did that fans would go, time to move on? Again, the answer could have been phrased a lot differently, Gabe. It could have been, I understand that perspective. Mm-hmm. I understand that we haven't hoisted the Lombardi since 2011. And I know that that's a long time for a proud fan base that expects to be contending for it year in and year out. When we evaluated Matt LaFleur, here are the reasons we feel he is still the guy to lead us there. Follow it with the answers.
Yeah, with lack of details. Yeah, that's.
Well, let me ask you this: what do you think what do you think Mark Murphy would have done? I mean, he fired McCarthy in the middle of the season and took a lot of grief for it. And I could see, I think it was Jason said, there's a lot of Bob Harlan characteristics in policy. My question is, in 2026, can that exist? because fans are much more vocal today than when I played. They're much more dialed in. Everything is scrutinized. Can you be nice?
In that president role?
Yes.
Yeah, why not?
But what about, let's say, Gabe, they don't make the playoffs this year. The fans are going to be screaming.
Oh, 100%. And, I mean, I don't think if he fires Matt LaFleur if they miss the playoffs, that doesn't mean Ed Policy can't be a nice guy. I mean, he's just doing business.
No, I'm saying if he brings them back again, I mean, this is kind of snowballing.
Oh, yeah. But again, if they miss the playoffs, I think there's a real conversation to be had there.
Won't that then reflect poorly on himself if he has to then correct a decision he just made?
That's always the trick, isn't it? How much of this is just confirmation bias? How much of it is protecting your own decision, right?
Right.
And we've asked that question fairly of Brian Gutekunst before when it comes to some of these players. Rashawn Gary was a prime example. How long is the leash for Rashawn Gary? Well, maybe longer than it should be because Brian Gutekunst wants to give his guys every opportunity to prove him right. I will say this. Matt LaFleur revealing yesterday, unprompted again, that there were some locker room issues with guys not being happy with their roles or there not being clarity on roles, I think is another thing that Ed Policy needs to consider when he talks about Matt LaFleur's future. Do you think, Gabe, he was aware of those locker room challenges when he sat down and decided to bring Matt LaFleur back?
I mean, probably, but also he said yesterday that players sought him out to support LaFleur. So, and again, I don't know if that's one of those things where, the players that had an issue with LaFleur, they're not necessarily going to seek out the president of the franchise and go, hey, you should fire him, right? So, but he said that players had sought him out in support of LaFleur. So, I mean, obviously there are some that not all 53 guys on the roster were upset with their roles.
Not all 53 guys
were
went
happy
to Policy and endorsed LaFleur.
But, I think he was probably aware. I'm guessing it's one of the things that, I don't think that news that Matt LaFleur broke yesterday was news to Ed Policy.
But it's such a form of selfishness. Jeez, I'm crow. Because I wasn't the only one. You had Dorsey, Levens, and Edgar.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure both of them wanted a hell of a lot more snaps, but they realized what was best for the team, And I'm sure there's other roles where it's just like your role is what it is. Do whatever it takes to make this team better. In my day, if special teams struggled or we were a little beat up, then hey, Nolan, if you need me, you got me. Just let me know. Guys are too damn worried about their stats and getting money wrecks everything. I'm sorry. But everyone wants that. And I get it, but everyone wants their big payday. But
okay, let me just push back on that a little bit, Shu, because are the players wrong to believe that stats are what drive the salaries? No.
Yes.
No.
You don't think so?
No, if you're in a front office, you're going to point to those stats first and foremost if you want to underpay a guy, right?
Yeah, but I played with delusional players, Jen. Delusional, that think they're so much better than they are. I'm like, dude, you suck. I'm sorry.
You want to name any
You
names?
shouldn't be playing, but you suck.
Like who?
Well, there were guys. And I'm sure guys said that about me. Nice corner out, stiff. That's just the way,
Is that one of the things you couldn't do, so you didn't run?
Yeah, I had a bad ankle.
It's hard to make that outcut.
I don't know. It's just I get so mad when I hear, players aren't happy with their roles.
I also think there's a degree of it, though. Like, how long did it take before Rashawn Gary was held somewhat accountable, even though they defended him publicly? It took weeks and weeks of him quitting on plays before he started to lose even more snaps than he already wasn't taking because he's a low snap count guy. So if I'm LVN, a guy who's chasing out every single play and giving it my all, and I'm watching him out there loaf around, that didn't take effect until the end of the season. That just didn't start week 14. That was throughout the course of the season. He was not doing what he's like. What was Romeo Doubs doing so much better than Dontavian Wicks?
And players know that, Joshy, because you know what you do? You go drink beers at other guys' houses with 4 or 5 guys, and you sit there, and then you sit there watching film, and you're like, did you see Gary? I mean, are you kidding? What is that dude doing still playing?
Right. So as much as I do agree it's on the players and accepting roles and all that, and that's part of being a team, there was plenty of examples throughout the course of the year of guys getting opportunities they simply didn't deserve and continuing to get them.
And if we're talking about Rashawn Gary, then we have to put the blame for that on Jeff Hafley, right?
Yes, because he's letting it happen.
Nate Hobbs. He took Carrington Valentine's job and was never better at him at it at any point.
Mm-hmm.
And do you believe that is because Jeff Hafley put him in that position, or do you believe because Gutekunst went out and got him in free agency, he put pressure on the coaching staff of, we got to utilize this person, we got to use this guy because
because that happens.
But again, in Chewy's day, that makes sense. Chewy, you've told the story about Terrell Buckley.
Yes.
Holmgren didn't want to start him. Wolf did. Well, Wolf was the boss, so guess who started?
Mm-hmm.
Goody's not the boss in that situation.
Yeah.
So that's the interesting thing to me, because what power does Goody have over anyone to apply that pressure on a coach?
Let me ask you this.
Let's call back to Brian Gutekunst saying he was unhappy with the role some players had on the team.
But you think Goody, who clearly we believe thinks he worked with Gannon, right? Get some pieces here, get this.
Yeah, he worked with Gannon. You know what I'm saying? Correct. Yeah, because...
you think he does that on the offensive side of the ball, or just does it?
I'm not sure. It seems like when somebody initially gets to Green Bay, he takes their input. Rich Bisaccia first comes in. Seemed like they got a couple of Rich Bisaccia guys for special teams. Listened to him, got a little bit of input, and I don't know if that input then wanes as things go along, but kind of the same thing with Jeff Hafley. And look, I think they probably wanted Xavier McKinney no matter what, but Hafley described McKinney to a T. They went out and they signed him. And with Gannon, Javon Hargrave straight up said, right after he got released, it was Gannon who called him, and he's went, yeah, I'll go to Green Bay. I love this dude. So I don't know if that just wanes over time, but certainly when you first show up in Green Bay, it seems like you've got some influence, especially if you're kind of tweaking some things to get some players.
I'll also say when Matt LaFleur decided to join us at the Tundra Trio, he seemed to indicate he had a pretty good idea who the Packers were thinking about taking, and he seemed pretty pleased with it in the first round, being Matthew Golden.
And then
they drafted him.
And then
Matt LaFleur didn't play him.
He barely saw the field.
That's the weird thing. I just don't get the feeling that LaFleur went to Goody and said, hey, we got to get this Golden guy.
Yeah. I wish we knew more about the relationship.
Yeah.
And how much on the same page they are. Because there have definitely been times where it feels like there's a disconnect. And maybe that's what Ed Policy thinks his job is to make sure these two guys are working better together. And that's what's going to lead to more success.
Ed Policy says he is shocked that there were portions of the fan base that wanted Matt LaFleur fired. You okay with that? Or does it seem like he's out of touch with the fan base, out of touch with the expectations for the Green Bay Packers? Let us know. 800-990-3776. Got to take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. If you're buying or building a new home, Great Midwest Bank helps guide you every step of the way. While we look for houses, we used Great Midwest Bank, and they're going to get you ready for every big life decision that you have as well. Get fast and flexible mortgage pre-approval straight from Great Midwest Bank's experienced and, most importantly, local loan officers. From start to finish, you can bank with confidence. Great Midwest Bank is your simply local equal housing lender. See all of their customizable products at greatmidwestbank.com.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
At Junior Achievement, students learn how innovation, creativity, and entrepreneurship can turn a simple idea into something that changes an industry. With support from Koss Corporation, students are discovering how engineering, product design, and smart marketing bring great ideas to life. From pioneering studio headphones to building a brand recognized around the world, Koss shows students how technology and creativity shape the way we experience music. Learn more at ja.org.
Thinking about buying or building a new home? Start with a mortgage pre-approval from Great Midwest Bank and experience a state of tranquility. At Great Midwest Bank, we offer fast approvals and flexible options with experienced loan officers who understand the local market, because they live here too. Whether you're breaking ground for new construction or buying that dream home just around the corner, we'll guide you every step of the way. Bank with confidence and start your journey at greatmidwestbank.com. Great Midwest Bank, your simply local equal housing lender.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Game Night, so for Events by Design. Events like appreciation parties and retreats can go a long way towards boosting morale and retaining top talent. Events by Design is your go-to creative partner for employee events that truly make an impact.
They help leaders retain top talent by making their people feel seen, valued, and celebrated. The creative team at Events by Design does all the planning and production, making sure things not only look great, but also work. Make a smart investment in your culture today. Search online, Events by Design. They design, you party.
Hi, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Most contractors cut corners and disappear when there's a problem. Not us. Since 1997, we've completed over 60,000 projects, earned thousands of 5-star reviews, and were named 2025 Roofing Magazine Contractor of the Year. We set the standard for exterior remodeling. Trusted by homeowners, proven every single day. We're excited to show you why choosing Infinity means peace of mind. Visit infinityexteriors.com to see why your neighbors trust Infinity.
Hungry for something fresh and delicious? Get your favorites from Cousin Subs delivered straight to your door. From our freshly baked bread and hand-sliced meats and cheeses to our famous sides, crispy golden fries, Wisconsin cheese curds, or creamy mac and cheese. Every meal made to order and ready to enjoy. Ordering is quick and easy online or through the Cousins app. Whether it's a solo lunch, family dinner, or a spread for the whole crew, let us bring it straight to you, fast and fresh. Cousin Subs. We believe in better.
Elevate your home field advantage by designing it around the way you actually live. Mike Wood here from Callan. What if your home perfectly fit your lifestyle? For 40 years, Callan has helped homeowners like you transform your living spaces from energy-efficient windows and doors to beautiful kitchens and spa-worthy bathrooms, featuring superior quality and craftsmanship you can see and feel for years to come. We start by listening and end with a home you truly love. Request your consultation today at callcallan.com and click the green button. Callan. Design, build, live.
Progressive knows sports brings people together, but you gotta feel bad for people who don't even get it. Some people will never know what it's like to see their favorite team's hopes decided by a ping pong ball to draft the next superstar. Or not. I mean, sure, it's silly for your happiness to hinge on the success of a 20-year-old entry-level employee, but you just can't help yourself. The stress is exhilarating. Progressive can't bring people together like the draft, but we can bring your home and auto insurance together with a bundle. So switch and see if you could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all states or situations.
Evan Cohen here. In life, as in sports, the pros make it look easy. That's why pro golfers like Jason Day, Ben Griffin, and Patton Kazire trust the pros in lawn care. True Green. They have the...
Whoa.
That's fine.
Whoa.
No, that's what I was getting
Good
at.
pop. Good pop.
Whoa.
I know.
Unnecessary.
I'm not dumb. I'm one click below dumb. We need to find out what that word is.
Don't you want to be one click above dumb?
Oh, that's right. I'm one click above.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Can you feel it? The thrill of witnessing a walk-off grand slam, a game-winning touchdown, a buzzer-beating three. You know that feeling. And there's only one place to experience that raw exhilaration, and it is, of course, the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Catch all the action in a supreme space, dozens of sports betting kiosks, cool drinks, luxury seating, great food, a fiery atmosphere, and, of course, the star of the show, that monster video wall. Become a legend at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. More information available online. Must be 21 years old to enter the casino. Yesterday, I was traveling for work, gang. Got a call from my husband who said, we have a problem. Oh, no. What's the problem? Well, we had a leak in our lower bathroom. What's above the lower bathroom? Oh, the big bathroom. The primary bathroom. And we opened up the wall, had the plumber out, and sure enough, black mold.
Oh, fun.
Black mold, Chew. So we are in the process of getting that figured out. You guys ever dealt with black mold?
Nope.
Highly toxic, very bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what'd you do?
I think vinegar does it.
Vinegar? Hey, I'm willing to try anything at this point. You tell me to spray some vinegar on this stuff, I will absolutely do it, Chew.
Yeah. Well, you can get, it's Kilz, Kilzs. You can get that at a hardware store. That pretty much encapsulates it and I think kills it too. So look into that.
I'm terrified because we have no idea how far back the black mold goes. We can see it on the camera. You know, the plumbers use that.
Yeah, like a little snake camera.
A little snake camera. Kind of cool.
Well, you know what
Terrifying.
the black mold tells you? It's been leaking for a while.
Yeah. Yep. It's a great thing about these houses. Walls not transparent. Can't see through them. And so until you get that crack, no idea. Just happening back there.
I feel like you guys have had terrible luck when it comes to house stuff.
So true.
It feels like you've got a big house issue that you come to us with.
So true.
Way too frequently.
I mean, I don't know, though, that new construction is the way to go, because every video I see on Instagram is some inspector. There's a local guy around here who's a big star, big viral star.
Oh, really?
On Instagram. Yeah, he's a Wisconsin guy. And he does inspections on new construction, and it is always shoddy. Always. I mean,
Yeah.
And it's not just one thing, it's multiple things. So any suggestions out there for the black mold that we have found now in our house? I will be taking all suggestions. Jen, Gabe, and Chewy rolls on. Stick around.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
Westbound 94 slowing down from 27th Street all the way to Hawley Road. Eastbound slowing from 76th Street all the way to 35th. Northbound on 41, you got backups before Mayfair Road all the way up to Burleigh. Also delays northbound 4394 from about Howard Avenue past Oklahoma, and then back on the brakes from about Beecher Street up and over the high-rise bridge. Traffic is brought to you by 3rd Street Market Hall in downtown Milwaukee, your home for basketball this March. Stop in for great local food, cold drinks, and wall-to-wall tournament action. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, a chance of storms, falling temperatures throughout the afternoon, a high of 65 tonight, mostly cloudy, a low of 33. Weather's brought to you by Infinity Exteriors, dedicated to saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Mother Nature can be unpredictable. Your roof, siding, and windows shouldn't be. We install peace of mind with transparency and quality guaranteed. Visit infinityexteriors.com. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hardworking partners, so they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
Don't think twice. Call Geist.
Don't let a busted garage door get you down. Call my friends at Geist today. For 70 years, Geist has been the trusted garage door authority in Wisconsin. With brands like CHI and LiftMaster, they have doors for every budget and will even build custom designs to get your exact needs. For swift and reliable garage repair solutions, go to geistdoors.com. That's GEIS doors.com. You can also visit their amazing showroom in Brookfield, featuring hundreds of doors and openers and their custom design room.
Don't think twice. Call Geist.
Tune in to KBN every day at 2 o'clock. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Showtime. The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamara. Here's Jen Latta.
We've got Jeff Levering coming up here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy in just a few minutes. Not sure if you saw the news yesterday, but the Milwaukee Brewers are on the verge of finalizing an 8-year deal. I believe they did do it, though, right? Did the Brewers officially make this official?
They have not announced it.
Okay.
No.
So let's just continue with the on the verge of finalizing vernacular. An 8-year deal for slightly more than $50 million with 21-year-old prized shortstop prospect Cooper Pratt, who had not played above Class AA until this year. The deal will include 2 option years for about $15 million a year. That a tweet from Bob Nightingale yesterday. So immediately people are like, whoa, that is a big investment for the Milwaukee Brewers for a guy who hasn't played at AAA, let alone in the majors. Gabe, what was your reaction to the news that they've given this deal or are in the process of giving this deal to Cooper Pratt?
I was pretty surprised just because it seemed, one of the questions about the Brewers is they have so many shortstops in the system, including their top prospect, Jesus Mate. Who's going to be the shortstop of the future? Because you can only have one, and then who are you going to move around from there? So I think this indicates, first and foremost to me, that Mate is not going to be the shortstop, that they are investing this money so Cooper Pratt can play that position. Again, he's only 21 years old. But when you start thinking about the contract, you mentioned the option years, Jen. So 8 years, $51 million. Well, if the last 2 are option years for $15 million each, okay, so we're looking at a 6-year deal worth $20 million. So I don't think that rushes him to the major leagues necessarily, but I think you might see him at some point this year because you're still giving him more than, a typical minor leaguer at that point. So I'm really curious to see how this all plays out because those prospects that the Brewers have are all knocking on the door. Who knows if they're all going to be within the organization, if they're going to have to trade some of them away, but investing in at least one of them was what I did not see this coming. Because at least when they did it with Jackson, when they give Churio the deal that they did, he was on the verge of making the opening day roster. He's probably going to still spend the majority of the season in the minors because you still have Joey Ortiz up here. You've got David Hamilton and Luis Rengifo, and that left side of the infield is pretty much covered, at least in this early portion of the season.
About 6 years, $20 million. That's a good risk, don't you think?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is kind of the way they have to do it, though, because of the money. So, and I trust this organization. They know what they're doing. We'll just have to wait and see how it pans out.
Pat Murphy was asked about it, obviously, when he had his availability prior to yesterday's game against the Rays. He indicated that a call-up is not imminent, but he did, again, praise the young man, praise the young athlete, saying, great human, great worker. I hope I'm around when he makes it to the big leagues, which, again, makes it seem like it's not tomorrow that this is happening.
I think he was also joking because I think Pat knows, again, another guy who just signed an extension, he knows Pratt's going to be up sooner rather than later.
But, Chewy, to your point, this is how the Brewers have to operate, right? They have to get in on these guys early, try to sign them to long deals, just like the Jackson Churio deal, because they can't. Look, the other thing that I saw circulating yesterday, and I mentioned it to you guys, is the people start lamenting over Bryce Terang. The more success Bryce Terang has, the more concern there is that he will price himself out of being a Brewer long term. Now, his contract, again, is not. That's not a tomorrow decision. That's not something the Brewers have to deal with tomorrow. But when you put these two things together, it makes sense why this Pratt situation came together the way it did, Gabe.
Yeah, and look, like you mentioned with Terang, he has this year and then 3 years of arbitration left after that. And who knows what the finances of baseball look like in 2029 in the final year of arbitration for Bryce Terang. And let's be honest, after that Nico Horner deal, if the finances of baseball stay the same, Bryce Terang's not going to be around here because he's going to get a lot of money.
I know we were talking about the new CBA and stuff, but to me, seems like free agency in baseball is way too long of a wait. Why are these guys locked up so long? You become a free agent, after year 7?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Why don't they negotiate that and get that down to 5?
Well, I'm guessing that would have to be a part of any sort of negotiation from the players' union if they want a salary cap. But right now, a salary cap is even a non-starter for all those guys.
Yeah, who's got the leverage? Who's got the leverage there with the salary cap? The players?
I mean, they're willing to sit out, so yeah.
So trade, go, hey, all right, free agency after 5 years, we'll sign your salary cap. Because Bryce Terang, who knows, 3 years from now? I know baseball's different than football, but that is in eternity.
It seems short-sighted to switch out the arbitration-eligible years for $500 million contracts. Because if you start setting the cap, you start figuring in those numbers, those numbers aren't going to be made up then. Especially when you start slotting in value towards the cap. Those numbers come way, 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 way down for a lot of those guys.
Would it be your guess, Gabe, that a lot of these players, because they're accumulating so much talent, will be used in trades as well? Because
they have to at some point.
Yeah, I mean, you can only have so many infielders.
So they've locked up Cooper Pratt. Okay, as we've discussed, Bryce Terang kind of locked up for the next 4 seasons, including this year. Jesus Mate impressed everybody. He looked really good. Okay, is he going to play third base? All right, then what happens with Andrew Fisher, who everybody fell in love with during the World Baseball Classic? Does he shift over to first base? And then what do you do with Jet Williams, who you just acquired in a trade? And what do you do with Luis Lara, who's also one of your top prospects and plays on the infield?
Pena?
So, yeah, and then you've got Pena as well. There's a lot of different guys that they have in their minor league system that, there are only so many positions. And at some point, either you're changing positions, maybe you're shifting to the outfield. The Brewers are also pretty set there with Sal Frelick and Jackson Churio. where they're probably going to have to send those guys off for, try to probably get more pitching, because that's what the Brewers always do, is try to acquire more and more pitching via trade.
The two main points for me are basically it seemed interesting that a guy who doesn't really have a direct path to the MLB would get an extension as currently stated. And the second thing is, in terms of order of operations or guys who are most coveted, Pratt didn't seem like the first one to take care of. Now, I understand if you're trying to make a deal like this with Jesus Made, it's probably going to be a little bit tougher of a negotiation.
It's going to be more money.
Seeing as he's the number one overall prospect and he doesn't have a direct path either. It was just sort of all the moves you expected to happen for one of these guys, it wasn't the one I would have picked 1-1. But the context of it does make a little sense.
He's the closest. And again, it starts giving you an idea of what the pecking order is in the Brewers' brain.
Yeah.
Whereas this guy was number 99 on Keith Law's top 100 prospects over at The Athletic. But the Brewers probably value him a little bit more than that, given that the contract that they ended up giving him yesterday.
And I think Chewy makes a good point anytime we talk about the Milwaukee Brewers, which is they have done enough good things. They have built enough goodwill that you might not necessarily understand the move, or you might have thought, yes, I think a lot of people thought Made might be next in line for a Jackson Chourio type deal. But Chewy, you trust what Matt Arnold and this front office have put together, and so you'll follow it.
They gave themselves outs, right? So they might not be on the hook for the entire. If they are wrong about this, which again you'd like to believe they're right, but in case they are, if they're wrong, they gave themselves outs, and it's not ultimately going to cost them the amount of money that was initially reported yesterday.
But I like the assets that they have, just in case you want to do something at the trade deadline because you're feeling it, right? They have a lot of assets in the minor league system. I think they were ranked. I was looking at a power ranking, and they were number one.
Number one.
Yeah.
Number one.
So that's there. That's
baseball.
we talk about the Packers kitty.
Yeah.
Brewers got a pretty good kitty in the minor system. So they're doing it right. They're doing what they have to do. Their evaluation is spot on, and I trust the moves they make.
You can boost culture with captivating corporate events like appreciation parties, brand activations, and more. The creative team at Events by Design truly enjoys the work that they do, and that's why you should be reaching out to them. If you're planning any sort of appreciation party for your employees, maybe you have an anniversary of your company that you're going to be celebrating, want to throw a party for that, reach out to our friends at Events by Design, because every detail they pour into from the beginning all the way to the completion. For over 25 years, Events by Design has helped companies execute successful events. Retain top talent, invest in your culture today. Just search online, Events by Design. They design, you party.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today. More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Got some slowdowns eastbound 94 from just before Hawley Road all the way through to 35th. Westbound slow on 94 from 35th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. Northbound 41 slowing from Mayfair Road up to Burleigh. And the rest of the system is looking nice. It's pretty much standard, nice and quiet ride. Traffic is brought to you by Geist Garage Doors. For over 70 years, Geist Garage Doors has been the local trusted name for garage door sales, service, and repair. Visit geistdoors.com and don't think twice, call Geist. And check out the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today. A chance for storms, falling temperatures throughout the afternoon, a high of 65. Tonight, mostly cloudy, a low of 33. Weather is brought to you by Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center in Waukesha. Another two-man scramble tournament is underway. Play Georgia Golf Club for a shot at cash prizes. Must play by March 31st. Sign up now at wisconsinindoorgolfcenter.com. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
With Wilde and Tausch, you won't miss a play.
Yeah, coaching matters a lot, and we've fallen short. Those are the facts. Matt LaFleur's on the clock, man. And I know he got an extension, but I'll say this. If they revert and don't get better, you're evaluated on your results.
Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Everybody knows, it's championship or bust. That is what Green Bay is. And unfortunately, we've had 15 years of bust.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN. ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube channel and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Hey fans, John Kuhn here, team captain of the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and there's a reason it's considered the Midwest premier place to bet on all your favorite sports. The Full Bar, awesome dining, 2,000 square foot screen, and nearly 100 betting kiosks makes for an unbeatable playbook. Bet above the rest, only at Potawatomi Sportsbook in Milwaukee. More info online. Must be 21 to enter casino.
March into big savings at Exterior Pros and Baths. Refresh your home this season with energy-efficient windows, durable roofing, beautiful new siding, or a stunning bath remodel and get $3,000 off your project. That's $3,000 in instant savings during their March savings event. But this offer won't last long. Call 262-800-4274 or visit extpros.com today. Exterior Pros and Baths. Big savings done right.
This college basketball tournament moment is brought to you by Marriott Bonvoy.
In the 2019 NCAA tournament, 12-seeded Murray State was led by projected lottery pick John Morant. In the opening round against 5th-seeded Marquette, Morant put up a rare triple-double, scoring 17 points, 16 assists, and 11 rebounds.
Obviously, I wouldn't be able to get the triple-double without my teammates making shots.
He followed that with 28 points against 4th-seeded Florida State.
Marriott Bonvoy, where game day checks in.
Clinton Yates here. Game day brings the excitement. Your stay should feel just as memorable. With Marriott Bonvoy, official hotel partner of the NCAA and U.S. Soccer, you're connected to a portfolio of brands designed for how you travel. Some offer complimentary breakfast. Others give you room to spread out, space to stay productive, or extended stay comforts. So whether you're a traveling fan or part of the team, Marriott Bonvoy celebrates the moments that live on before and after the game. Marriott Bonvoy, where game day checks in.
Calling all seafood lovers, the lobster salad sub is officially back at Cousin Subs. Fresh lobster mixed with our creamy signature mayo, topped with tomato and onion, served over crisp lettuce and finished with a sprinkle of Old Bay. All on our fresh-baked Italian bread. It's a crave-worthy classic you can enjoy in store, online, or on the app, but only through April 5th. So catch it while you can. Cousin Subs. We believe in better.
It's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Josh said it's garbage.
I'm so glad that Josh is getting a front row seat.
He said it doesn't work.
Chewy,
am I right or wrong?
We call that a setup in the biz.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Remember, you can always weigh in on the show on the Infinity Exteriors Twitter poll. Refresh your home with roofing, siding, or windows, all backed by their lifetime workmanship warranty. It's infinityexteriors.com.
It's Chewy's favorite segment of the week.
Hey, big guy, you catch the game?
It's Power Rankings time on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Did you catch the game last night? Can I say yes to you?
What will the big guy have in store for us today?
See the game last night?
Which game?
Any of them.
Okay, with the draft approaching, we're going to start out negative. Okay. All I want from you guys is the top 10 worst first-round picks for the Green Bay Packers. Now, there's 3 of them that go a little ways back. That's why I'm going to give you 12 to get 7. I knew 2 of the names, the tough ones. 2 are from the 80s, one's from the 50s. So with that, and you know all the other names.
Okay.
From the 50s?
Yeah. But
Was
this
that-
guy
oh,
was
oh.
bad. Bad.
Was he a number 1 overall pick?
Yes.
Oh, why can't I remember his name? He played like 2 games for the Packers.
He never played a game for the Green Bay Packers.
And he was the number 1 overall pick, and I'm blanking on his name. He was a quarterback.
The number 1
Son of a
pick.
biscuit. Yeah, I'm not gonna remember his name.
Well, get back. Let it cook a little bit in there in your noggin and knock out some of the other ones.
Justin Harrell.
Justin Harrell is number 3 on the list. Good call.
Carroll.
Ahmad Carroll he was the 25th pick. Harrell was the 16th. Is number 5 on the list.
My favorite thing about Ahmad Carroll is he had such a problem with holding. They taped oven mitts to his hands during practice.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
My favorite thing about the obvious answer we have left is Chewy's wife insulting this person to his face.
Yes. We'll get to him. Derek Sherrod.
Derek Sherrod, the 32nd pick, is number 9 on the list.
Let's go ahead. We'll just knock out Tony Mandrich.
Big old Tony is number 1.
How many did we have to get?
We had to get 7.
Shoot.
And we're at 4.
Well, those were the busts from when I was covering the team. I might be out.
No, you guys got more.
Well, it doesn't mean that Gabe doesn't have more, but I might be out.
Okay.
Okay.
Defensive end.
Oh, Jamal Reynolds?
Yes, got to be. Right?
Jamal Reynolds, number 2 on the list. He was the number 10 pick. Thank you, Mike Sherman.
Is it possible that one is an offensive lineman that played in your era? No?
No.
Okay. So no John.
Which is shocking because he is warranted. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he was pretty
Did
bad.
we mention one of these people already on the show today? Did Chewy mention a guy when we were talking about guys and their roles? And
So T-Buck, like the thing about T-Buck is he went on to have 50 career interceptions. So I don't know if he's like, and he didn't work out for the Packers, but he was still a good player.
He's got to be on the list.
Oh, we got some guesses to play around with. T-Buck.
T-Buck is number 6 on the list. He was the 5th pick overall. He only played 3 seasons with us.
Do you think the defensive end that the Packers drafted out of UCLA, Datone Jones,
that one,
as a reaction to getting ran all over in the playoffs, could be on this list?
He ended up getting a second contract, though. And oddly enough, I believe he has more double-digit sack seasons than Rashawn Gary.
Yeah, which is 1?
Yep, that's correct. It's correct. I think he had a double-digit sack season, unless I'm thinking somebody else. Was Datone really that bad? I mean, Datone I would have in the same category as John Michaels.
Maybe a recency bias?
Yeah. Datone did get a second contract, though. Who else was really
Just
bad?
go with it.
Datone Jones.
Datone Jones, number 10 on the list.
Oh, baby.
26th pick. All right, there's one more you should get.
One more we should get.
He was bad.
And we're just giving up on the quarterback that Gabe was talking about.
Yeah,
right?
I'm not going to come up with the name. When he says the name, it's going to be familiar, but I'm going to completely forget
Which
the name.
defensive back was drafted first? Was it a first-round pick?
When they drafted all the DBs?
Yeah.
Because Mike McKenzie was the best one. Antoine Edwards was traded for...
He was terrible.
Ahman
That's
Green.
the guy I was talking about.
And the other corner... Who was the other corner? Who was the first one that they took there?
What year?
That would have been 1999.
Are we on the right track?
99.
No, okay, so no.
What about the Demarius
Antoine
Randall?
Edwards.
Oh, Antoine Edwards was the first-round pick?
Yeah.
Was Demarius Randall a first-round pick?
He was.
This guy's a lineman.
Oh.
Reset the list for us, Chew.
maybe you already
Which
guessed them.
ones
Did
do
you
we
already guess?
have? Don't say it. Did you already guess?
we've got our 7, so we've already won.
Oh, you must have got it. You said Derek Sherrod already?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
All right, so
covered it.
now
he was
it's
number
just
9.
it's the 3 tough ones.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Gabe, nothing.
I got nothing on the quarterback. You just say it, I'm going to be mad.
Randy Duncan.
Good old
Okay.
Good
The
old
other
Randy.
one was, and he was the number 1 overall. Number 8 is pick number 4, defensive end. No?
No idea.
Bruce Clark.
Never heard of him.
And then a quarterback. 1981 6th pick. You should know this name.
Not if he's not any good.
Rich Campbell.
Well, I've heard of him, but yeah, I
Okay.
had no idea he was drafted by the Packers. So we
Yeah,
got the
so
ones
those
we
are
were
the 3.
supposed to get.
So those were the worst. Next week we'll do the best.
Woohoo! Looking forward
The
to next
best.
week, Chew.
Commercial payments at Fifth Third Bank are experienced and reliable, but they're also constantly innovating. That may seem contradictory, but Fifth Third does just that. They handle over $17 trillion in payments smoothly and effectively every year. And were named one of America's most innovative companies by Fortune magazine. After all, that's what commercial payments are all about. Steady, reliable expertise that keeps money flowing in and out like clockwork. But commercial payments are also about building new and disruptive solutions. So Fifth Third, they do that too. That's your commercial payments, a Fifth Third better. Fifth Third Bank, National Association. Member FDIC.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
We still have some delays along eastbound 94, starting just before Hawley Road, all the way through the stadium to 35th Street. Westbound is backing up right through the stadium to about Hawley Road. On northbound 41, backing up from just before Mayfair Road all the way up to about Burleigh. 43, north and southbound's looking just fine pretty much all morning. Traffic is brought to you by 3rd Street Market Hall in downtown Milwaukee. Your home for basketball this March. Stop in for great local food, cold drinks, and wall-to-wall tournament action. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, a chance of storms, falling temperatures throughout the afternoon, a high of 65 tonight, mostly cloudy, a low of 33. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Looking for a dinner that actually impresses and cocktails that keep the conversation going? Head to the second floor of St. Kate the Arts Hotel and discover the Studio Kitchen and Cocktails. Bold, elevated dinners, thoughtfully crafted cocktails. It's the kind of place where every plate and every pour is made with intention. Come for dinner, stay for another round. The Studio Kitchen and Cocktails on the second floor at St. Kate the Arts Hotel.
Let's talk about home turf. Your lawn is a reflection of your pride, hard work, and even competitive spirit. If you want a yard that makes the neighbors stop and stare, you need the right plan. That's where Weedman Lawn Care comes in. Weedman's lawn care program is kid and pet friendly, uses golf course quality fertilizer, and has an effective weed treatment to dominate any issue. Get a free quote of Weedman's winning formula for your yard at weedman.com and get 50% off your first treatment. That's weedman.com. Weedman for the win.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen for Pella Windows and Doors. Sometimes teams take a timeout to regroup and call the right play. When it comes to your home, Pella Windows and Doors always has the winning game plan. They're not just window and door experts. They're experts at taking care of you and your home. At Pella, they find the products that meet your needs and their experts install them. They do it every day, and that's why your neighbors trust them. Discover why Pella is a trusted choice for homeowners everywhere. Visit Pella.com/Eisen today. That's Pella.com/Eisen.
Evan Cohen here. You know the feeling when a candidate just stands out. Not just the resume, but their energy. They're eager, engaged, and you know they want the role. That makes a difference. If you're hiring, you want a candidate who's passionate, but you can't get that insight from a resume unless you post your job on ZipRecruiter. Their matching technology finds qualified candidates fast, and ZipRecruiter has a new feature that shows you the most interested qualified candidates first. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/USL. That's ZipRecruiter.com/USL.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
You want more physical harm beset upon people who are trying to earn a living.
I want winners. If someone has to die in order for us to win, then that's the price you pay.
On 94.5 ESPN.
2-2. Fly ball to deep right! It is way back and gone! Yelly delivers in the clutch.
First and foremost, just an incredible call by our friend Jeff Levering, who joins us now here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Good morning, Jeff. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you guys this morning?
It was nice to see you at the ballpark last week for opening day, and the Brewers have put together a pretty nice little start to the season already. And yesterday there was big news about Cooper Pratt. What can you tell us about why the Brewers made that move?
I can tell you they think very highly of Cooper Pratt, and I think he proved that he's on the doorstep of the major leagues. I think the Brewers are doing what they can to lock up their young talent as early as possible. I think the Jackson Chourio deal set that precedent in motion. 8 years, $82 million. Then you get this deal with Cooper Pratt that buys him out of his arbitration years. It's just a smart baseball move, and for a guy who likes being in the Brewers organization and wants to be here for a long time, it does put some pressure on the Brewers to get him to the big leagues maybe quicker. But at the same time, I think this kid's ready for it.
Jeff, what do you believe the strengths and weaknesses are this year's team? That came out real well.
We're off to a great start, Chewy.
Do you want to try again, or are we just going to leave it out there as is?
We have our own language here.
I got you. The Brewers play good. They're good at baseball, kind of stuff. No, listen, they play great defense. They've shown that already. They've done that for a number of years. I think that their pitching is very underrated. I don't think that the one start from Brandon Sproat is indicative of how good he's going to be. I thought Kyle Harrison threw the heck out of the baseball yesterday. I can't wait to see Woody throw the ball today. I think their bullpen is going to be a strength all season long, too, pending health. And I do think that their offense is more dynamic this year than it has been in the last couple of seasons. So I just think that they are a better team this year than they were last year, and they won 97 games this season ago.
And they certainly had a lot of more veteran pitchers in that rotation a year ago, a lot younger this time around. So how important is William Contreras? Because I love the interview you guys did on Brewers TV during the game with Miz. He said some things that we cannot repeat on this radio show when it comes to William Contreras. Yeah, just one thing, really. Yeah. But how important is he to kind of, work with those guys and put them in the best position to succeed?
He is vital to the Brewers' success behind the plate and this young staff. And Kyle Harrison said it after last night, too. He said just working with William and having that rapport that we built during spring training, even with the World Baseball Classic and William leaving for a couple of weeks, they still had built up such a good connection that these pitchers trust that he's going to call the right things in the right moments and get them through it. That was one of the knocks on Contreras, too, coming over from Atlanta when the Brewers got him, was that he was just a hit first, and what you get defensively is going to be a bonus. He has worked his tail off to become a really, really good catcher, not just framing pitches and stealing strikes, but understanding how to call a game. It is one of the biggest challenges for a catcher in the big leagues, is calling a game without looking over into the dugout and asking, okay, well, what do I throw here? Because in college and in high school, pitchers are being called every single pitch, and they're not doing anything on their own. Contreras is calling the game on his own. It's a big deal.
Jeff Lovering hanging out with Jen, Gabe, and Chewy here on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee. All right, Jeff, what is your reaction to the ABS? We have talked about it here on the show, played a little audio from some of the games where the crowd has been very engaged, very locked in from the ballpark. How has it been so far?
I love it. I think it's great. It's not invasive to the game. I thought the umpire last night, Jeremy Rehak, had a great zone. I mean, there were only 2 challenges in the entire game, and he got them both right. In my opinion, it's a good thing, right? I think at the end of the day, it's holding these umpires accountable, and they're going to be better because of it. I do enjoy the fact that people can watch it in real time, and as broadcasters, we don't get the pitch beforehand either. So we're watching it just as the fans are watching it, just as the players are watching it. So it's live reaction and genuine reaction from us too. I think it's a blast. And in big moments, it's a lot of fun. And you know what? Again, for the CB Buckners of the world, who has the plate tomorrow, by the way, in this series, you guys probably played the clip from the Reds and Red Sox series.
Most certainly did.
Where he missed quite a few calls. So we'll see how he does on tomorrow's game with Miz on the mound.
Jeff, I know he's only thrown one game, but could Miz be elite this year? I mean, could he be in the Cy Young talk, or does it take a young pitcher like that a few years to get a little experience under his wing?
I mean, he was an all-star after 5 games last year. So I think that he has the notoriety. I think he's taken the sport by storm. He didn't give up a hit for his first 3 starts. That was one of the bold predictions on the websites this year, was Miz is going to be a Cy Young candidate. If he throws like he did the other night, then yeah, he is going to be a Cy Young candidate. I think the sky's the limit for this kid. He pitches with such a youthful energy, right? And he does look like a baby deer out there on the mound all the time, just kind of gangling around. And been smiling all the time when William Contreras is whipping the ball back at him, which led to that great quote that we had on TV the other day. But at the same time, it's just, he's a stud. He's a stud. God blessed him with a rocket for an arm. And it's just fun to go out there and watch him throw every fifth day.
Talking with our guy, Jeff Levering. He joins us on the Yuengling guest hotline. Yuengling, now officially in Wisconsin. Family owned and operated for 6 generations. DG Yuengling and Son, Pottsville, PA. Enjoy responsibly. What gets me excited about Christian Yelich is not just the call that we heard coming in, Jeff, and obviously that was a great moment for him. First ever pinch hit home run, and it comes in a big clutch situation. But when's the last time you saw him pull a ball down that line that hard?
It's been a while. He hasn't had a ton of pull homers like that. It's mostly left field to right center field gap. But, I mean, it's a hanging splitter. He was late on the fastball the previous pitch. And then so the splitter comes in, and when you're behind a fastball, you're going to be on time for an off-speed pitch. And that's exactly what he did. He has not pulled balls like that since 2019. But he has so much power all over the field. It's fun to watch him pull a ball like that. I honestly think that he got cheated on the distance. They had him at 421, and I'm going, there's no way that was 421. That was like 4,021. We thought it was gonna hit off the third deck like Russell Branyan style. It was a bomb.
Russell the Muscle. That's not a name I've heard in forever.
You're welcome. I mean, you're talking about draft picks from yesteryear. I figure I could throw out some fun names, right?
No, sure, not? Gabe. Get his. You don't get my Boog Powell. What the hell is that all about?
God, the next time I see you guys in person, I have an amazing Boog Powell story from Euchre, but that's not for air. Yeah.
You just never know what Chewy's going to take personally here on the show. Jeff, early in the season, how much leeway do we give guys? I've got folks in the chat and on the YouTube stream talking about how Trevor McGill makes him nervous. Obviously, the 2-out walk yesterday, troublesome, but it is early in the season. How much leeway do you give guys like that making those mistakes?
Plenty of leeway. I'm not worried about Trevor McGill. His velocity was good. His hammer was unbelievable last night. And give some credit to Nick Fortes. The pitch that he hit was at his shoulders. I mean, that's all right. Listen, you figure you want to stay up out of the strike zone. You know he's going to try to ambush a high fastball, but nobody's hitting a pitch at your chin. So give him a little bit of credit. Does the 2-out walk need to happen? No, but those things do happen. I give him a lot of leeway. Plus, you've got Abner Uribe waiting in the wings right there as an awesome setup man or a potential closing option too. I still think that the Brewers are in really good shape.
Jeff, are they going to handle Woody differently this year to make sure he's around for the end of the season, maybe miss a start here or there, just to like I said, make sure he is available?
I think that they're going to be very careful with his innings. Remember, he only threw 60-plus innings last year, and that was after a season where he threw 0. So the expectation, I think, for Brandon Woodruff this year, maybe 115 innings. I think that would be a generous jump. So if that's going to be the case, you're going to have to skip a couple of starts. You're going to have to do some things differently, how you manage the starting rotation. But they're definitely going to watch his innings closely. They're going to watch a lot of guys' innings closely. Even the Jared Koenigs of the world, or even McGill or Abner Uribe, Grant Anderson, guys that threw 70-plus games a year ago, they're going to have to manage some of their innings at times.
Talking with our guy, Jeff Levering. Again, Brewers keeping their series rolling tonight against the Rays. And then they made the move yesterday, trading for Luis Matos. What do you expect him to contribute to this team? Because he's a former high prospect, hasn't really caught on in the majors. But I love the line on Brewers.com from Matt Arnold, calling the Brewers the land of opportunity.
It has been. It has been. And I used to think that was the city of Adelanto in High Desert, California, because it had a sign that said, "Welcome to Adelanto, the city of unlimited possibilities," because there was literally nothing there except for tumbleweeds. But there's
a
lot of options. You could do anything. But I think
vision. What's your vision?
Right. With the Brewers, though, it really is a place for opportunities. You have more runway to be successful. If you go 0 for a week, they're not going to send you down. You still have an opportunity to work through that. You have an opportunity to work through a bad start and get a next opportunity or a third opportunity. This is a place where prospects have come to really flourish. Look at a Quinn Priester and what he did, a former first-round pick that just turned into an amazing thing a year ago, and hopefully he comes back in May and he's the same Quinn Priester he was a season ago. But I think that this is a place where people are comfortable. And some of that has to do with the media, right? Our media treats everybody so fairly. They're not all over everybody. And you don't have to feel uncomfortable in your own skin. This is a place that is really special in that way, where you have tremendous support from your fan base, and you can just go flourish the way that you're supposed to go flourish.
When I think about Luis Matos, I think about like an Andrew Vaughn situation, right? Where mired in struggles, Brewers take a chance on him, bring him in, boom, he pops. Obviously, he's dealing with the injury now. But from a psychological standpoint, I want to ask you this, Jeff. We just talked about the infield and how they have all this young talent and how it's just a matter of time before they are, chomping at the bit and making their big league debuts. Does that affect the guys who are currently out there? Do they feel like, one false move and they're going to be going to a younger guy to take my spot, or I'm not long for this world? Have you sensed that at all from this squad?
No, I don't feel that from this group, but certainly there's a sense of, hey, let's light a fire under somebody's rear end. And listen, if you don't produce, then, we've got somebody else who might produce instead of you. I mean, that is the ultimate motivator, isn't it? In any sport. I mean, if you don't do your job and if you're not on the program, then we have somebody else who can do this for you. So you don't sense it. Guys don't play tight here in Milwaukee. Guys play loose, and that's a really good thing. But they also know that they need to put up or shut up at some point. And having these contracts like Cooper Pratt signed, or bringing a guy like Luis Matos, competitiveness is ultimate. You got to have that. And I think the Brewers have done a great job cultivating that over the last decade plus.
Jeff, I thought Jordan Love's opening day pitch was weak. You got to come with the heat there. What are your thoughts? I mean, at least throw a strike if you're going to ephus it.
I mean, was the ABS on? It wasn't a strike. It didn't clip the back part of the strike zone, right?
No.
It probably didn't
at 35 miles an hour.
I'm surprised it even registered.
I know.
Listen, the only thing that I care about in first pitches is you don't bounce it. Don't bounce it. That's all I care about. You could throw it to the 15th deck if you want to. Do not bounce it. That is my only caveat. So for
why
Jordan
is that
Love,
your caveat?
Because it's a bad look. It's a bad look. If you want to throw some arc on it, that's fine. But do not bounce it. You don't leave that short, especially if you're a professional athlete.
I mean, the worst first pitch of all time, I don't think he bounced it. I mean, it went to the dugout.
You think at 50 Cent?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
That didn't bounce.
I mean, no, he threw it to the dugout. That was bad. That was Eloy Jimenez spring training bad. There's another one that's one of my favorites that I actually watched live. Was a Red Sox prospect. He was a first-round pick, and he threw the first pitch so high over the catcher that it actually hit a cameraman right in the nethers. And it's one of my favorites of all time. One of my favorites. Almost like Aranda last night, cradling that baseball up against his body.
Oh, up against it, yeah. Were you aware that didn't count as securing the ball at first base? Because I think a lot of people were confused by that.
You have to have it in your hand or in the glove in order for it to count. So you could cradle it against your chest as long as it's in your hand against your chest. But he had it with no hand on it. It was just up against his body, not allowed.
Jeff, we appreciate you hanging out with us today. It's going to be great to talk to you all season long. Have a good one. We'll see you at the ballpark.
You got it, guys. Have a great Tuesday.
Jeff Levering is so great. Love the insight he brings.
Can't wait till I see him. I want to hear that story.
He's going to join us.
I want to hear my first question again. What the hell was that?
Sure, he's tapping his helmet on that question.
Yeah. No one started the segment to me. Now the segment's over.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Here we go.
We're good.
You got to know when the start of the segment is, when the end of the segment is.
Yeah.
It's just bad coaching.
I'm going to regret the Packers putting that out into the stratosphere because he's just going to keep going back to that well. Anybody got a read? No reads? We'll take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and
I've
Chewy.
got one. I thought Gabe was
perfect.
reaching. I was
Thanks, Joshy.
Wake up, Josh.
That's my fault. Hey, hand up. I needed to know that was the end of
Here we go.
Got to finish back.
There comes a point where you know it's time to do something for yourself. I wanted real goals, real change, and I decided 2026 is the year I look and feel my best. I'm Josh DiMaggio, and I'm starting that journey with Milwaukee Weight Loss. From the first consultation, their team really listened and built a customized plan around me and my goals. I've lost 35 pounds at this point, and I am feeling great. For a limited time, you can get $200 off with their spring special. Doctor-developed, doctor-supervised program where you can lose 20 to 30 pounds in just a month or two safely and naturally. Keep it off. This program is different. No intense workouts, no prepackaged meals, bars, shakes, no counting calories or points, no drugs, surgery, or injections, just a proven metabolic reset. Many patients lose up to a pound of fat a day. Milwaukee Weight Loss has already helped thousands of people change their lives. There's no better time than now to take control and start feeling confident again. Schedule a free consultation at 262-235-3980. That's 262-235-3980 or visit MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN. On this show, it's always football season.
I'm not overly concerned because it seems as if Green Bay's not overly concerned.
Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Everybody over there feels like this team was there. We got short-circuited with injuries. We have the right staff, we have the right people, and we have the right players. We just need to stay healthy, and we'll be champions.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN, ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube channel, and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Veterans and active duty service members, when your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner. VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
Smalls here. What if you could enjoy the flavor of a cocktail without the alcohol? Meet RK Zero Proof, a pioneer in the alcohol-free spirits category that delivers bold taste and a warming sensation, but with zero alcohol, zero sugar, zero carbs, and zero calories. So you can celebrate with friends, unwind after a long day, and wake up tomorrow feeling great. It's all the ritual of a drink without the regret. Discover RK at rkbeverages.com. That's ARKAY beverages.com. RK, the spirit without the alcohol.
Evan Cohen here. In life, as in sports, the pros make it look easy. That's why pro golfers like Jason Day, Ben Griffin, and Patton Kazire trust the pros in lawn care. True Green. They have the experience and expertise to give you a lawn worthy of the PGA Tour. And since True Green does the work for you, you get more free time, or more tee times. So stop stressing over your lawn and start loving it. Sign up now at TrueGreen.com because nobody makes it easier to get a golf course quality lawn than True Green, the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know you love working weekends. If it means working on your dream home, both inside and out. And we're here to help protect those dreams so you can enjoy peace of mind. Save up to 40% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Turn your dream kitchen into a reality with the IKEA Dream Kitchen event. Now through April 21st, IKEA family members save 10% when they spend $3,000 or more on section kitchen cabinets and eligible appliances and countertops. That's modern style, smart storage, and everyday functionality designed your way. Plus, section cabinets come with a 25-year limited warranty. Not sure where to start? IKEA's expert kitchen planners are here to guide you every step of the way. Your dream kitchen is closer than you think. So visit IKEA Oak Creek or IKEA.us today.
You asked and Carbless delivered. The fan favorite grapefruit flavor now has its own 4-pack all to itself. That bold, bright, perfectly balanced citrus taste that you've been pulling from the variety pack, it's now front and center in 4 cans, 1 box. Crisp, refreshing, not too sweet, and nothing else has changed. 0 sugar, 0 carbs, just 100 calories and gluten-free. Clean ingredients and big flavor. Always no compromises. Grab the new Carbless grapefruit 4-pack wherever you get your Carbless and find a location near you at drinkcarbless.com. Carbless, bold flavor in every sip.
Spring is here, and living with your old, drafty, foggy, dirty, hard-to-open, bad windows is no longer an option. You deserve better windows and doors. At Siding Unlimited, we install top-of-the-line wood, vinyl, and fiberglass windows with options to fit your style, color, and design choices. Built for energy efficiency, installed by our professional craftsmen at Siding Unlimited. Siding Unlimited. Experience, integrity, craftsmanship. Visit sidingunlimited.com today.
Summertime is when you'll find the largest selection of homes on the market.
But it's the bottom of the ninth, as it's also the time when homes move the quickest.
This is Tony Wendorf with Tony Wendorf & Associates, powered by Keller Williams.
And I'm Andrea Woshinski. With more buyers competing, preparation, speed, and expert local guidance can make all the difference.
Start your home journey today with our white glove service at wendorfteam.kw.com.
Tony Wendorf & Associates.
A real estate team driven by faith, gratitude, and results.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
I thought
Salvation
every time
Army.
that they hear their name when it's non-scheduled, that's what they want to hear.
I could hear Ashley laughing in the background.
Am I right or wrong?
He's
Gabe?
not wrong. Hey, he's not wrong. He's not wrong.
He is wrong.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Swung over to the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Take a look at some of the bets they have available for tonight's game against Brewers versus Rays. I guess I didn't realize that Shane McClanahan was coming off of a Tommy John surgery, his first start in over 2.5 years. Thanks, Google. But, of course, Brandon Woodruff will be on the hill as well tonight. So I'll very quickly, Gabe, give you the over-under on strikeouts for Brandon Woodruff.
Okay.
4.5. You like the under?
It's a good number. I do like the under. The last time we saw him, the velo just wasn't that high. And I don't think, and again, if they're going to be limiting innings, it's not like they're going to give him a long leash. I think it's going to be pretty similar to what we saw from some of the other guys in other starts where, okay, you're coming out after 4 1/3, 4 2/3. If you hit a little bump in the road, it's not going to be like the leash they had for Miz on opening day.
Under 4.5 Chew is at plus 180.
Okay.
I know. I just said it for fun. I knew that. At some point,
what does that mean? When she says plus 180, what do you think that means?
Brandon Woodruff is going to weigh more than 180 pounds at the start of the game.
Nailed it.
And you know what?
He's right.
The show is now over, Gabe.
And the music.
It is now ended.
No more questions.
Yes.
No.
The music was the indicator. Wilde and Tasha's next on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee. Have a great day, everybody.
Eastbound 94, we do have delays from Mitchell Boulevard all the way to 35th